Assalamualaikum everyone.
Waalaikumsalam.
I'm pretty sure everyone here has heard of the hashtag Youth Power movement led by our new Youth and Sports Minister Syed yang berbahagia yang berhormat Syed Saddiq. In this movement, he has promoted to lower the age of voting to 18 years old. And just a couple of days ago, the cabinet has confirmed that they will work towards lowering the voting age. This is a huge win for us as the youth of Malaysia, as people who are young and who have the spirit in this country. In my speech today, I will try to inspire all of you on why we should be proud and why we should vote as the youth in Malaysia, and why we should support
Why we should support.
the movement brought by our minister. Let's start with the basics of voting. What do you do when you vote? But before that, let's just have a show of hands. Who will vote if they have the chance to vote? So, what do we understand about the basics of voting? What happens when you have the power to vote? Here in Malaysia, you have to start by registering yourself to the election commission so that your name can show up in the election centers, and then you can vote. But what happens? What's so good about having to cross somebody in a paper and sending it to a ballot box? What's so powerful about that? Well, when you vote, you have the responsibility. You carry out your responsibility as a Malaysian to choose your leader. This is a very large power. Because if you see in the news, you see our Prime Minister, Tun Dr. Mahathir speaking. You say that, well, he is a very powerful man. But you are much more powerful because your vote can unseat him, can kick him out of his home office. But this power cannot be seen by many people as they disregard the power of voting. They do not want to vote because their reasons are they do not want to line up. The queue is very long. It takes up a whole day for you to cast your vote. This is sad because people do not know the power of your power and your responsibility towards the country. Why is it so important for us to elect a government? Why is it so important for us to have a choice in determining who will hold the positions? If I asked you today, who will you blame if the economy is in shambles? Who will you blame?
The Prime Minister.
Of course, the Prime Minister, the present administration. But besides blaming, do you have anything else to do to fix the economy? Yes, you cannot fix the economy then. And the only thing that you can do right now is to decide on who would be the best Prime Minister, who would carry out his responsibilities as a Prime Minister. But in Malaysia, as we can understand, most youth do not understand politics. They say that politics is something that only older people should take into account. Only adults should know about politics. And most adults will say that if children speak about politics, they speak gibberish. They do not know anything. I think that this move to lower the voting age to 18 years old will create a change in context of youth in Malaysia. Because by now, we have the power to change the government. would you, and then people say that, well, these young people do not know anything, therefore they will vote these candidates based on reasons that are not important. Like, I vote for Syed Sadiq because he is handsome. I vote for this candidate because he will give me more duit raya. So, but for me, I think that will not happen, because it's hard for you to vote. It's very hard, because you have to spend your whole day in the electoral center for you to cast your vote. Would you vote for someone who is handsome just because for the reason that he is handsome? Would you stand in a line of 100 people for one day? Would you would you do that? Will you do that? Of course you will not do that. You only will stand in the line for 100 people, waiting for your turn for the whole day, only for something that is very important to you and your country, which is the reason for you to vote. That's why I say that once this policy is to be passed, the youth will be much more aware of the political landscape in Malaysia. Then you are now wondering, why is it so important for me to take part in politics? Why is it so important for me to take part in this thing that I don't even understand now? Because 20 years to come, it is our turn to rule this country. It is our turn to take over the administration as ministers, members of the parliament, people who will decide whether this country will move forward or stay in stagnancy. Would you want to inherit a country in which our economy is in shambles? Would you want to inherit a country in which you can't even buy a car without? Would you want to inherit this country in which the prices are so expensive that even with your 50,000 ringgit a month salary, you can't even afford a car, you can't even afford your house? Would you want to live in that country?
No.
Of course you don't want. But because of the decisions that are made today will affect the outcomes 20 years from now, that is why as the youth, we should have the power, and we should exercise that power to the full extent in order for us to initiate change for a better future. So I think that right now, when the voting age has been lowered to 18 years old, I urge all of you to take up your power and to take on your decision to vote for a correct candidate of your party of choice for a better Malaysia, for a better Malaysia for the future. Thank you.